first full-time job, and I know it was only 3 months, but working every day for 8 hours gets super exhausting if you're not used to it. I must say that everyone I met in Microsoft was super open-minded and helpful. I mean, they can't know you don't like what you're doing because they don't read your mind, and they're usually super busy. Hello everyone, my name is Clara if you're new here. I have my tea and I'm ready to spill it on my Microsoft Internship 2022. But I don't want to spill this tea for real, so I'll just put it there and hopefully I don't kick it. So I think my whole internship experience was quite unusual because it was during the COVID pandemic and I did the internship mostly from home, and we could even choose to come to the offices, but we didn't have to, so I didn't, and that might be a mistake, as you might soon find out. Also, I would like to show you some B-roll or some videos from my internship, but unfortunately I didn't have my YouTube channel back then, so I only have a few pics from my office. So here are the 5 things I wish I had known before my Microsoft internship. First thing is going in person. As I said, I was at home office and I only came for 2 weeks or so to Prague, and I met all the interns there and they were super cool and super friendly and inspiring, and I'm glad I met them. But we could spend more time together if I was in Prague and done my internship in person. Plus, there's free food in the office, so that's another way to motivate people to come to offices in person. It's more motivating to meet other colleagues and to have them around instead of just 4 walls of your bedroom. You can use the meeting rooms, you can go for lunch with your colleagues, socialize in general, and I think my experience would be much better if I actually was in person in the Microsoft. The second thing is that it's okay not to know. I was pretty ashamed that I didn't understand half of the stuff they were talking about during the meetings. I didn't know what to do, what my task comprehended. It's normal to come to a new job and not to know what's happening, especially with such complex products. It's hard to be oriented from the beginning, and some people told me that it took them 3 months to orient in the products and grasp the task they should be doing. And everyone around me was super pro, and I was afraid of looking stupid. Luckily, my teammates were super nice and helpful and always took time to explain the task to me, or when I struggled and didn't understand something. And thanks to them, I learned a lot even for my other project outside of Microsoft. Moreover, at the beginning of your internship, you will have usually 1 or 2 weeks to do tutorials, to get to know the product and the team and your tasks. And also you will have some meetings with your teammates. It's okay not to grasp everything at first and not to remember every part of your tutorial. You will get to know these things by practice and by time. Okay, so the thing number 3. Don't be afraid to ask for changing the task. The whole internship is mostly about you learning new technologies or working with the product. And as I said in my first video, if you vibe with the manager, it's probable that you will work on some project or in a team you already liked or you know what you're doing, but you will probably get some project or a task in this specific team. And they usually have a lot of these. So if you don't like what you're doing or you feel like you don't grow there and it's not meant for you, I personally think it's okay to tell your manager and ask if it's possible to maybe finish half of it or at least something and then switch to something else. This was my case and my manager was super helpful in this process. I must say that everyone I met in Microsoft was super open-minded and helpful. I mean, they can't know you don't like what you're doing because they don't read your mind, and they're usually super busy. The worst thing you can get is no. The thing number 4 is joining the events. As I said multiple times, I was working from home, so I couldn't join a lot of the events. The biggest event I joined was Intern Day, which is super cool, and definitely be excited for that if you're intern for the summer or any other summer in the future. Hopefully they won't cancel it because it was awesome. There were offline events as well, but because I wasn't in Prague, I couldn't get there. But within these 2 weeks, I was actually in Prague in person. I could join at least these smaller events where they showed us some new product or some planning for next year or something like that. And it was super great. I could see the products the Microsoft is building at the moment, some challenges. I could meet the people from the community and see what they're solving and do some networking as well. Would definitely recommend that one. But also there were a lot of online events because of course they were hosted, for example, from USA or from other countries. So I could join these as well, and that was also super nice because I got to see inspiring people and their journey or some talks with them. Yeah, so definitely check these as well. I would also add a little sub-tip to this one, and let's connect with other people. This was especially important for me because during my internship I found out about the role called product manager, and it was a love at the first sight. I told this to my manager and he got me connected with one product manager. He had this meeting and he told me more about his role. I reached out to other PMs myself, and it was super cool. When I was later interviewing for product manager roles, I could use these resources they gave me, and I already knew what the role entailed. So if you're interested in some field, role, team, definitely reach out. As I said multiple times, are very friendly. They're usually super enthusiastic and excited about their work. The worst thing you can get is no. And the last very important thing is time management. This was my first full-time job, and I know it was only 3 months, but working every day for 8 hours gets super exhausting if you're not used to it. I was actually kind of prepared for this, but I didn't expect it to be that much tiring. Especially with this kind of jobs like computer science, where you literally have to solve problems and think for 8 hours straight. At the end of the day, I was so tired I could only lay in my bed and gaze to the ceiling. I didn't want to watch TV series because I spent the whole day looking at my computer. I didn't want to work out because I was tired. Since it was COVID, I couldn't even socialize properly. And I think the situation is much better nowadays because obviously you can go to the office, you can go out, you can do whatever you want, and you can do more activities after work. But I think in general, just taking into account that the whole workday is very tiring. It's not easy to start full-time job, plus after the semester. You can, for example, go to the gym in the morning and then start working a little bit later, or start working sooner and then go, for example, for an evening run, or plan something with your friends. And listen, I know this might sound a bit obvious. We already have full-time jobs, so you know that it's tiring, you know that you have to kind of schedule your day in advance, but I was new into this whole full-time job thing. If you now know these 5 things I wish I had known, you're good to go. I wish you lots of luck with your internship. If you haven't watched my previous video on how to get an internship, definitely watch that one. And that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye!